Today we are testing out the new Revlon Illuminance expansion to their line. They just launched their serum tint. Looks like they imported a ton of reviews from various different sites, maybe the Revlon site, maybe even Amazon, to the Ulta site, because it looks like the Ulta site already has 661 reviews, but this hasn't been out super long. I want to say I was able to purchase it back in October, but it didn't arrive to me until today. So I had purchased this even before it was available for shipment. Now this only comes in 16 different shades. I would say though, get it on Amazon's website because I ended up getting it for $13.62. I know that's kind of a random price, but that's how Amazon goes. And this right now retails at Ulta for $18.99. So like quite a big difference. I'm wearing a pretty vibrant eye look today because I was just playing with the Ace Beauté Mystic Romance palette that just came out. So yes, we're gonna throw like a tinted serum on with a pretty vibrant eye look, but that's the way it goes. Hope you guys don't mind. If you guys are interested in checking this out, I'll probably have this video up before this one. I'm a huge fan of the Luminance foundation. I have been since it launched last January. It's pretty medium coverage. I think this is gonna end up being like super sheer. This only comes in 16 different shades. So I think the reason it only comes in 16 shades is really because it's super expansive, because it's so light coverage. I picked mine up in the shade 113 Ivory Beige. This comes with ginger root, vitamin C, and vitamin E and has an SPF of 15 in it, and the SPF is octinoxate, titanium dioxide, and zinc oxide. Okay, it's not quite a full fluid ounce. It's 0.94 fluid ounces. This has a 24-month shelf life. A little thing at the top that we gotta peel off. Let's see this consistency. Is it gonna be runny? I think this is less runny than the foundation that I have. This actually looks like light coverage than it does like fully sheer. Let's rub this in. It has such a nice like hydrating feel to it. It actually has like a sweet scent to it. I do not smell sunscreen. I smell sweetness. I wonder if that's like the ginger root. Yeah, once you rub it out, it's more glowy and more sheer. They also launched their gel serum blushes. I ended up picking up all 4 shades because I love blush and I couldn't help myself. These retailed on Amazon for $11.49, so I recommend, again, getting them on Amazon. I will be linking everything in the description box with links to Amazon in case you guys are interested in checking these out. So I want to apply the serum or serum tint, and then I want to try out all the blushes. I will end with one depending upon like what one looks best. I don't know, we might even like stick with this purple shade just given my eye look. We'll see how it looks on me. I think it's a decent range though, like a red, a mauve, an orange, and a purple. My son is literally downstairs like screaming his head off. Let's go into that much to start with. This is a thicker consistency than I was expecting. I'm just gonna use my sponge. And by the way, I did check out some of the reviews before filming, and a lot of them are like, oh, this is way too light for me. It basically doesn't show up on my skin. He's making so much noise. I don't know what's happening. I feel like he's tired. By the way, it's not that late. Do you guys have school-age children that like napped all the way through preschool because you had them in like a private preschool, and then all of a sudden they're doing like this full day at kindergarten, and our son goes to after school care? This is gorgeous. This is freaking gorgeous. This is such a beautiful amount of coverage. It's so fresh on the skin. That's fresh. Oh, I like that. Man, I never finish my sentences. So taking about that much for the other side. And because he's in after school care and doesn't get a nap, he has an even longer day without a nap. Man, he comes home, he's exhausted. It's so funny, my daughter did not nap. She never needed a nap. We tried to force her when she was younger, and it always ended up like being that she couldn't sleep at night. And the doctor finally said, not every child needs a nap, ma'am. I was like, oh, okay, well, it's my first. I don't know. I thought they all needed naps. But my son is like, give me nap or else. That just honestly most beautiful amount of dewy, radiant, natural finish coverage. I am loving that. I personally think this probably would have been a better launch for a lot of people in the summertime, but I love the heck out of this in drier weather. right now because I have oily skin, and it's about the time that I can get away with something like this. By the way, I think the shade match is amazing. I'm pretty sure I have neutral undertones, but I've been told I have cool undertones, so Ivory Beige seems to work for me in shade 113. Man, it smells so good too. It's so pleasant. I don't know what it is. You guys, if you're sensitive to smell, you're definitely gonna detect it. It smells like sweet, like a little bit of perfume, but not floral, not rose scented. It's so nice. All right, you guys, what should we do? Should we start with the shades I don't think I'm gonna keep on, which are Beaming Coral and Striking Rose? I feel like we need to start with these. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so Beaming Coral is in the shade 130. Here's the packaging. Pretty little. It comes with 0.34 fluid ounces, little squeezy tube. This is like a moussey whipped texture. Oh, but it's really gel-like though. It's very, very thin once you rub it out. How do I want to apply it? I don't know. Should I get a sponge? I'm gonna grab 2 sponges, I think. So I think 2 sponges will do. I'm going to like bounce it in with the flat side of the sponge. So I'm gonna add some more onto the back of my hand and just kind of like rub it into a circle. And then I'm gonna bounce with the sponge. Ooh, wow, it like picked up really fast. And then I'm gonna bounce it into my cheeks. Oh, okay. Is it lifting the foundation? I mean, it's there. It's really, really light. You guys, this is a extremely liquidy, very, very light pigmented product. Like the majority of that wound up on the sponge. Let's not use the sponge. Let's go into a brush, something maybe a little bit more dense, like this. Let me see if I can get more pigmentation. Yeah, okay. The sponge sucks it all up. Don't recommend this sponge. Okay, that's so much better. And I'm just tapping. Wow, that's a lot more pigmented. Okay. I'm just tapping it in. I'm not swiping. I do not think you want to swipe this. It is so liquidy that it is easily going to disturb the foundation underneath. It's actually a really pigmented shade once you get the right applicator, but that sponge idea was a no-go. No-go on that one. This brush, I don't know if it's the brush or not, but it's definitely not like super dewy on my cheeks. I feel like this brush is kind of soaking up some of the radiance. Even though it's pigmented, it's still a more sheer formula. Like you can see through the blush. And I'm going in way heavier than I normally would with this. So just so we can see it. All right, I'm gonna take a different brush. Let's go into Striking Rose. You know, if you could shear this one out, this would be a great blush to use for the fall right now. Oh, I might have to. Yeah, it's like straight up clay until you rub it in. Really, depending upon the brush that you use and how you apply this, you really can get a very different effect. He's just down there screaming his little brains out. He's having a blast. This is so pretty. This one looks juicy and gorgeous. I don't know. This might be the one that I keep on. It really can be like sheared out to this pinky shade. It actually comes out more pink than it looks really red on the packaging. That one is really gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I really like it. And guys, it's not sticky. Like it doesn't have any tack to it, and it like dries down like pretty well. I mean, it still transfers a bit, but it's not sticky. This one is just so gorgeous. I don't know, we might have to leave this one on. But for now, Coral, Striking Rose, that's what they look like on fair skin. Let's go into these last 2 shades. I'm gonna take this off and then we're gonna go back in. We're ready to go into these next 2 shades. So let's go into Enchanting Mauve, which is 110 next. And because I loved these 2 brushes for like different reasons, I have these exact brushes duplicated over here. So we're gonna use these 2, move the dirty ones over here, and do the same thing. I'm gonna take the more dense brush for the mauve shade because I would like the mauve to be a little bit more intense. That's probably how I would wear it. And then the purple with the fluffier brush, so it's diffused out a little bit more. Again, probably how I would wear it. Ooh, this one has shimmer in it. Okay, this one's gorgeous. It has some shimmer. I don't know why I just said it like that, but I did. This is beautiful. So denser brush going into this one. And again, just patting it onto the cheeks. I did not see sheen in the other two. This one has like the perfect sheen. This one just looks juicy. Again, not too juicy. It really has a nice dry down, surprisingly. It's not fully serum-y. None of these are. These say superfood complex with glycerin. Okay, so they have some skincare benefits to them as well. These blushes have a 12-month shelf life. Let's go into Brilliant Berry. So far, I feel like I could get away with using any one of these shades on my fair complexion. This one, I feel like I like maybe the best because of that shimmer. This one maybe has a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's a lot less noticeable than the mauve one. Gosh, I didn't notice it on the other two. Okay, I'm taking that same more fluffy brush for the purple shade. You can really adjust the amount of opacity on these depending upon the brush that you use. You can get even less with a sponge, and depending upon how fluffy or dense a brush is, you really can build these up, honestly. They're quite adjustable. It's actually really nice formula, really, really nice. Shocking, surprising me. Okay, and that is the plum one. No, that's the berry one. What do you guys think? Do we want to keep berry on or do we want mauve? I feel like we need berry. If there is any shimmer in these other shades, it is not noticeable when you swatch them. They basically look fully matte. Like the only one that really looks like it has true sheen to it is that mauve shade. All right, let me clean this up and we'll come back and we'll apply this berry one. I reapplied the skin tint and then I had to take a break really quickly to go downstairs for dinner. Now that I come back up, it's still like radiant on the forehead, but it's like dried down on the face and it's not as radiant anymore. I think it almost has like a satin finish about it. It's pretty. I just was kind of expecting that little bit of radiance to just stay a little bit longer, maybe be a little bit more prominent. I did go in with my Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer under my under eyes. I feel like I need to just get the tip of my nose a little bit because it's looking a little bit red. But I don't want to powder on this. I think this is like a self-setting skin tint. It's like a kind of powdery finish, even though it has that teeny bit of luminosity. It's kind of an interesting formula, but so incredibly lightweight that I could see this really working for like dry skin and oily skin, definitely mature skin. It's very natural in the skin, no settling or anything like that. I'm gonna go into my Revlon Skin Lights bronzer, prismatic bronzer in Sunlit Glow. Warm up the complexion. I've been loving this bronzer recently. I just recently picked it up and put it in a speed review, so I thought it would be perfect to throw on for this video. It's so beautiful. Revlon just makes a really good baked powder formula. That and the highlighter. All right, I'm going back into this purpley berry one. I want to maybe like get it a little bit more sheer this time. Can I do that? Can I get it just a little bit more sheer? Yeah, you know, this is such an adjustable coverage blush that still dries down even though it's really thin serum formula. It is so freaking pretty. I'm a little bit shocked that I like it as much as I do because it's kind of a thin, like liquidy formula. Ooh, I'm going in a little heavy. Maybe not something I would normally reach for. I think I'm going to just kind of tap the edges out on this because it is pretty darn pigmented, you guys. For as much as I thought otherwise when I was using the sponge, it's decent. While we're on the Revlon train, I'm gonna throw on the Revlon Skin Lights, stumbling over my words, highlighter in Daybreak Glimmer. This is a classic drugstore. Man, I barely tapped my brush in. I gotta like diffuse this one out a little bit too. Ooh, so gorgeous, so pretty. Oh, it meshes with the blush so nicely. And it doesn't like look like it's just kind of sitting on top of it. Okay, now that I have my base all done, I am going to jump off, finish my eyes, and then we're gonna come back. I'll give you my final thoughts on everything. I think honestly, this is a shocker. This is more coverage than I was expecting. I didn't go in with that much. I feel like it's a buildable formula. It's also super beautiful and like smooths out the texture on my face. Like even though I went back in with a little bit of concealer like on my nose, I still have like a natural glow. SPF of 15 is not much, but you know, it's something. I think this is super gorgeous. I feel like this would work for so many different skin types. I could see myself really reaching for this. You guys, this was super surprising and super beautiful, and I highly recommend this. Now let's get on to the blushes. I highly recommend these as well. Very shocking what these ended up being. I keep looking back in the mirror and these are way more daring and pigmented than I thought that they were going to be. The mauve shade is the only one that I can detect like shimmer and sheen on the cheeks. The rest of them seem pretty darn matte to me, and I think they dry down to honestly kind of a powder finish. And seeing the texture of the blushes, that's not surprising. They're more clay-like. I hope I'm kind of describing that right. They remind me a lot of some K-Beauty blushes that I've tried, even the ones from Kulfi, the Mendy Moment blushes. They're very similar formula, even though they change when you start rubbing them in. They become more of a lightweight, watery gel texture, but they don't start off that way when you swatch them. So I feel like it's an interesting consistency, an interesting formula that really is kind of unlike any other blush I have in my collection. I don't know that the finish necessarily is the most unique, but the formula is definitely the most unique things about these blushes, or thing about these blushes. So if you were turned off by gel or serum blushes, I think the final effect of these, I feel like you would really like. Now, if you like a more juicy blush, I don't necessarily think you're gonna get that with these. I think they're less serum-like and gel-like as they dry down. I think they're extremely adjustable. You guys saw different brushes, different intensity levels. I just love that about them. I love the Illuminance line. I feel like this was another win for that line. I'm thoroughly enjoying all of the Revlon products that honestly I've been testing lately. I told you guys I will be linking everything in the description box. I have never said this on my channel before, but honestly, if you guys are interested in picking these products up, don't feel obligated to use my links, but they do help my channel out. So if you do use them, I do really appreciate that. I'm also super grateful to the rest of you who just kind of keep me going, who comment on my videos, who enjoy my content, who say wonderful, beautiful, lovely things. You're all wonderful, beautiful, lovely people. And I just enjoy you so much, even though I'm over here and you guys are over there. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm out of here for this evening, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.